Welcome to Silent Secrets. In today's video, let's strip away the sugarcoating and face reality. For decades, men have been spoon-fed lies about women, attraction, and relationships. You've been told to chase, to pour out compliments, to sacrifice your time, and to treat her like royalty even before she's earned a place in your life. You've been told that if you just try harder, if you buy enough flowers, if you bend far enough, eventually she'll choose you. But here's the cold truth that most men refuse to accept. Chasing rarely works. In fact, it almost always backfires. The more you pursue her, the more she distances herself. The harder you try to convince her, the faster she loses interest. And the uncomfortable reality is this. Women are not drawn to desperation. They're not attracted to a man who makes them his entire universe overnight. What they notice, what makes their pulse race, is a man who values himself enough not to beg for attention. A man who has purpose, options, confidence, and an unshakable sense of self. That's the man she respects. That's the man she desires. That's the man she ends up chasing. Now here's the important part. This is not about playing games, pretending to be someone you're not, or manipulating her. Attraction doesn't come from tricks. It comes from strength, presence, and authenticity. If you understand how female psychology works, and you make key shifts in your mindset and behavior, the entire dynamic flips. Suddenly, she's the one thinking about you. She's the one sending the first message. She's the one who wonders, what is it about him that I can't ignore? This video is not about being nice. It's about being real. It's about exposing the unspoken rules that separate the men women tolerate from the men women chase. Once you understand these rules, you'll never see attraction the same way again. So let's dive in. Stop chasing. Start attracting. One of the hardest truths men struggle to accept is this. The more you chase a woman, the less she values you. It sounds backwards. But think about it. If you're constantly texting her, checking her social media, rearranging your schedule for her, and pouring in all your energy, what message are you really sending? You're saying, I have nothing more important in my life than you. And there's nothing less attractive than a man who places a woman he barely knows above his own purpose. Humans don't value what's easy to get. If she knows you'll always be there no matter what she does, there's no excitement, no mystery, no challenge. She gets bored, takes you for granted, and often looks elsewhere. The shift is simple. Pull back. Not to punish her, not to be cruel, but to reclaim your own value. Stop over-investing in someone who hasn't invested in you. When you stop chasing, something powerful happens. She starts questioning, why isn't he begging for my attention like the others? That thought plants curiosity, and curiosity fuels attraction. Story. Example. Imagine you meet a woman and you have a great first interaction. Instead of blowing up her phone every hour, you let her wonder. You don't cancel your plans to be available instantly. At first, she might act annoyed, but soon she finds herself checking her phone, waiting for your message. Before long, she's the one reaching out first. That's not manipulation. That's self-respect. That's the difference between being an option and being a prize. Niceness without confidence. Repels, here's a bitter truth. Being overly nice doesn't spark attraction, it kills it. Society teaches men that if you're polite enough, agreeable enough, if you treat her like a queen from the first second, she'll eventually fall for you. But it rarely works that way. Why? Because nice without confidence feels fake. It feels like you're hiding your true self just to gain approval. Women can sense when your niceness is transactional, when you're giving compliments, favors, and gifts only because you want something in return. And that kind of energy doesn't pull her closer. It pushes her away. Confidence is what makes kindness attractive. Without confidence, kindness looks like weakness. But when a man has boundaries, when he knows when to say no, when he isn't afraid to disagree, his kindness carries weight. Scenario. Example. She says, I don't really like guys who spend so much time at the gym. The insecure, nice guy will nervously agree, even if he loves the gym, just to win her approval. The confident man will smile and say, that's fine, but I love it. It keeps me sharp. Who does she respect? The man who stands firm in his truth. At the end of the day, niceness without strength is just submission. Confidence with kindness? That's magnetic. Scarcity creates value. Here's a universal law. What is rare is valuable, and what is abundant is ignored. If you're constantly available, always answering instantly, always dropping everything for her, your attention becomes cheap. She doesn't have to earn it. She doesn't appreciate it. But when you live a full life, when you're focused on your goals, your health, your friendships, your growth, suddenly your time feels rare. And because it's rare, it becomes valuable. Think about it. Gold is valuable not because it's shiny, but because it's scarce. The same applies to your presence. This doesn't mean you disappear or play games. It means you genuinely prioritize your life. When she realizes she can't have your attention on demand, curiosity builds. She starts to wonder, where is he? Who's he with? Why isn't he texting me first? That little bit of scarcity is what keeps you on her mind. Her attention isn't free too. Many men treat a woman's time, a smile, or a text like a sacred gift. They act as if her attention is worth more than their self-respect. They sacrifice plans, overextend themselves financially, and even abandon their goals, all for a moment of validation. This mindset destroys attraction. Here's the truth. Attention is a form of currency. If you pay too much for it, with your time, energy, or dignity, you'll always be emotionally bankrupt. If she's giving you crumbs while you're offering the whole cake, you're out of balance. You've already lost. The key is to recognize your own value. Your attention, your presence, your energy. Those are the prize. She should be earning your time, not the other way around. Ironically, the moment you stop overpaying for her attention, the dynamic shifts. She realizes she has to invest too. Suddenly, she's the one trying harder. Remember, respect yourself first, or no one else will. Energy speaks louder than words. Here's a truth most men overlook. Women aren't moved by endless compliments or sweet texts. What draws them in is energy, not forced energy, not loud performative energy, but that quiet masculine presence that communicates strength, certainty, and yes, desire. This is what separates the men stuck in the friend zone from the men women can't stop thinking about. Sexual energy doesn't mean being aggressive. It doesn't mean crossing boundaries. It means embracing your masculinity unapologetically. It's the steady eye contact, the relaxed body language, the confident tone in your voice. Think about this. The nice guy sends emojis and compliments. The confident man simply looks her in the eyes, pauses, and lets silence speak. One is predictable, the other is unforgettable. Energy cannot be faked. And when your energy communicates certainty, she feels it, even when you say nothing at all. Options make you strong. One of the biggest mistakes men make is putting one woman at the center of their entire existence. When you do this, desperation leaks through everything you say and do. Options change everything. When you know you have choices, when you know you can meet other women, when you know your happiness isn't tied to one person, you walk differently, you speak differently, and you behave differently. Women notice that. They can sense when a man has options, and they're drawn to it, not because of arrogance, but because it signals value. The man with options doesn't tolerate disrespect. He doesn't cling. He doesn't beg. He can walk away without hesitation, and that ability makes him powerful. Remember, the man who can walk away holds all the power. Mystery triggers. Obsession. Humans are wired for curiosity. We're fascinated by puzzles, unanswered questions, and stories that reveal themselves piece by piece. Attraction works the same way. If you reveal your entire life story in the first week, if you overshare every detail about your routine, if you post your every move online, there's no curiosity left. She feels like she already has you figured out. But when you hold back just a little, when you let her wonder about you, when you reveal yourself in layers, that mystery pulls her in. Think of your favorite TV show. You don't binge because they told you the ending in the first episode. You keep watching because there's always something left unanswered. Be that man. Don't be an open book. Be a story she wants to keep reading. Seeking validation is weakness. Here's a trap many men fall into: constantly needing her approval. When you crave her validation, through compliments, through constant check-ins, through asking if she likes you, you're essentially saying, "I'm not enough until you confirm I am." That is weakness. A self-respecting man doesn't outsource his worth. He validates himself. He knows his value regardless of her reaction. And ironically, when you stop needing validation, you get more of it. Why? Because confidence is magnetic. Women respect men who don't beg for approval. They're drawn to men who stand firm in who they are, no matter what. Remember, your worth doesn't increase or decrease based on her opinion. It's set by you. Light. Distance builds. Desire. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is stepping back. Most men smother women with attention, thinking it will build closeness. But in reality, constant pursuit suffocates attraction. When you pull away, you create space. And in that space, she feels your absence. She starts to wonder. She starts to miss. Distance builds desire. This doesn't mean ghosting. It means focusing on your own life, refusing to beg for presence, and letting her come to you. If she's truly interested, she will. If she doesn't, you've saved yourself time. Strength is not in clinging. Strength is in being able to step back and let her chase. 10. Master yourself. Master the dynamic. Here's the ultimate truth. The man who controls himself controls the relationship. Most men lose not because they're unattractive, but because they lack self-control. They get jealous too fast. They overreact. They text too much. They beg. They explode when things don't go their way. Every time you lose control, you lose respect. And without respect, desire dies. Control your emotions. Control your focus. Control your energy. When you remain calm, grounded, and steady no matter what, she feels it. She respects it. And respect always comes before desire. The man who controls himself cannot be controlled. And that is the man women chase. Let's end with the truth most men don't want to hear. Women don't truly respect the man who chases. She may enjoy the attention. She may keep you around for comfort. But real desire, real respect, that's reserved for the man she has to chase. You've been told your whole life that persistence wins, that love is about sacrifice, that if you just keep proving yourself, she'll eventually give in. But in reality, chasing is weakness, and weakness never creates attraction. The men who win are the ones who flip the script. The men who respect themselves, who don't beg for attention, who make women invest too. Those are the men women talk about at night, the men they can't stop thinking about. So ask yourself, are you the man doing the chasing, or are you the man being chased? If you don't like your answer, it's time to change. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Have you ever stopped chasing only to notice her interest grow stronger? Share your experience. I'll be reading because this isn't just a video. It's a conversation. And if you found value in this, hit like, subscribe, and join the Silent Secrets community, where we cut through the noise and reveal what really works.